After all this time, for some of us more than 2 years, Blight is finally here. This update underwent countless changes from small to gigantic ones, and it all led to this. Okay, you already saw the intro, so how about I tell you how it all began? And if you're just here for the showcase, then here's the timestamp. Before it was Blight, it all began with dungeons. Oh god, no, not those. This is better, but no. Anyways, the first mention of dungeons being added to OR was an early version of the website. Even before we got a closed beta, dungeons were supposed to be very big structures containing lots of challenges that led to a boss. They were also supposed to be appearing in adventure worlds. Your personal realm is for building your base, resource worlds are, well, for collecting your resources, and adventure worlds were meant for epic fights in dungeons and doing quests. During the next few years, even more stuff happened. So much stuff in fact that this would have to be a two-parter. We got our first dungeon spoiler, dungeons were announced for 1.0, adventure worlds were cancelled, then stuff from 1.0 got released beforehand, dungeons were delayed, we got another blog post, dungeons were delayed again, we got even more dungeon spoilers, and then...
It's about time that we say that dungeons are officially cancelled. But hear me out. Moving forward, there won't be dungeons, but there will be bosses. They will be inside of these really cool structures. They'll be guarded by their own exclusive set.
Yeah, you heard that right. On one of the stage events on the Origin Realms Discord, admins announced the cancellation of dungeons, and we got some spoilers for Blight and the first biome concept, and that pretty much sums up everything till today. Now, where was I? Oh, right, Blight. In this update we got our first blighted biome out of the 10 that are planned. It's the Blighted Badlands biome. So, to put it simply, Blighted Badlands is a more difficult version of the basic Badlands biome, with more bandit outposts, mobs, blocks, and a very special structure that we'll talk about slightly later. That aside, let's start with the mobs. First of all, strata golems now no longer spawn in the normal Badlands biome, and now only appear in the blighted one, with a fancy new texture. Other than that, this update added 4 more mobs and redesigns a fan favorite one. The Phantom. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Everyone knows, phantoms are the... What happened to that guy? Anyways, I know what you're thinking, but phantoms are less annoying now. They no longer spawn literally everywhere and only appear in Blight. And are much larger, so they are easier to hit. As for new mobs, first we have the Grim. This pesky mob appears all over the biome and disguises itself until you approach it. You will often run into groups of them, so be careful. It's also very hard to aim at, so just use your sword. Your hits have a chance to stun the Grim for a few seconds, so you can take advantage of that and strike. This mob also has a harder version that blinds you. Next up, we have the Ghoul. Yeah, it's just a fancy looking skeleton. Finally, we have the Mangler. Like the Grim, this mob also appears all over the biome, but it's way more dangerous. Once the Mangler sees you, it'll dash right for you. It deals a lot of knockback when it hits you, and once you deal enough damage to the Mangler, it'll spawn a Grim. All of the mobs that I showcased drop the same item. It's called the Blight Essence, and currently it only has one use, but builders will love this one. You can craft blocks into their blighted versions by surrounding one essence by 8 blocks. And that was all there is about mobs, but that's just the tip of the iceberg of what I've yet to show you. Next up, we have the Spirit Spire. This large structure is usually located right in the middle of the Blighted Badlands, and it houses the very first blighted boss of the server, but getting to the top is very difficult. You'll have a lot of obstacles like unbreakable spawners, parkour segments, and even some traps. it's very easy to fall down. Moreover, since Totems of Undying no longer work during boss fights, the Spire houses a secret solution just for that. The Life Wisps. They can appear in 5 different spots in the Spire, and if you hit them, you'll get an additional life during the boss fight. The amount of lives you can get is based on how many players are in your party. If you're alone, you can get 3 lives. If you're with a friend, you can get 2. If you're in a team of 3, you can get 1. And if you're in a team of 4, you can't get any additional lives. Finally, once you have gone to the top of the spire, be it by climbing or by unconventional means, you can drop into the portal and fight the boss. Hey, we've beaten the boss, so it's time to reap the reward. For the first time that you kill the boss, you'll receive a lifelight. The lifelight will give you an additional heart, and it will also allow you to use the relic set of the boss. And of course, every time you beat the boss, you'll be rewarded with lots of items, such as rubies, exclusive furniture, cosmetics, crate keys, and of course, the Spirit Relic. So, now that we've dealt with that, let's check out the new Relic. The Relic aims for a summoner archetype, so you'll deal most of your damage with friendly mobs. For the full set of items, we'll need about 7 Spirit Relics. Let me apply them real quick. Hey, looking good. Now, let's begin with armor. First of all, each piece buffs the defense and damage of tamed and player-built mobs. This can sum up to a pretty significant boost. And the armor also works on mounts. I just need to find a zebra to test this out. Hey, come here, I have some wheat. There we go. Let's see how fast this zebra is now. Oh, yeah, this is actually pretty fast. Oh, hey zombie, bye zombie. Hello, bye bye. Nothing can stop me now. We're not gonna talk about that. But hey, there's still one more thing about the spirit armor. It's this little guy. Let me explain. Equipping a full set of spirit armor summons a Grim Sentry. The Grim Sentry will follow you around and will attack any aggressive mob around you. It doesn't deal too much damage, but it has a very big range and it still contributes a lot. Next, we have the weapons. Let's start with the sword and the axe. Both of them have the same gimmick. They will slowly charge up when you deal damage to enemies. Once they are fully charged, they will summon special Grim mobs. The sword summons drone Grims that fly over mobs and shoot them for you, and the axe summons heavy Grims that will crash into enemies, dealing a lot of damage. After they attack several times, the Grims will disappear, but the best thing is you can have several of them at the same time. And let's not forget about the spirit bow. Instead of shooting arrows, the bow shoots Griminies. They automatically home onto enemies if they are close. And you can charge the bow slightly longer to shoot 2 additional projectiles. This can be very useful if you're fighting against a group of mobs. As for the tools, well, they have nothing. So there you have it, the entirety of the first Blighted biome update. It was a blast making this video, but this is just the start of something great. In fact, we already got some spoilers for the next update, but that's a story for another video. So go, fight the boss, get the fancy items, and have fun.